Hi, and welcome to the Your Mac Life Show, number 1063, this Wednesday, the 23rd of September, 2015. And today, Shawn will be talking about ad blockers. We'll also be talking to Jim Dalrymple of The Loop at theloopinsight.com.
Loopinsight.com.
Loopinsight.com. I don't know why I get that wrong. Sorry, Jim. About his iPhone 6S review. And in the photography portion, we'll also be talking about our Mexico trip and do's and don'ts of photography and underwater photography. So without further ado, here is your host and mine, Shawn King.
Welcome, folks. Thanks very much for joining us. As always, send us emails to onair@yourmaclifeshow.com if you want us to read the emails on during the show, or to Shawn at yourmaclifeshow.com anytime during the week, or Kim at yourmaclifeshow.com. If you have something you don't want me to see, but you want to say it to her. And if you do that, yes, we are back. Sorry we didn't do a show last Wednesday because last Wednesday at showtime, we were on a beach in Mexico. She's very brown. I'm sort of brown, but I'm supposed to be brown. She's not supposed to be brown. She's browner than I am. You had a good time.
You didn't?
I had a great time. We had fun. It was a nice, relaxing week of doing almost literally nothing except eating and drinking and walking. So much walking. But the walking wasn't bad. It wasn't certainly as bad as people online had made it seem. We walked a lot. I think my pedometer app said 75 kilometers from the Sunday to Sunday, which is a lot of walking. It's more than 10 kilometers a day, 6 miles a day, which is average for some people. But for us, especially for me, who averages like a mile going from here to the coffee machine, bathroom, that was a lot of walking. And I certainly noticed it. It certainly felt like a Mackerel Expo kind of thing. For those folks, remember the days of Mackerel Expo where you got there on a Sunday and by Wednesday you wanted to cut your feet off. That's the way I felt anyway. I had a couple of blisters, I had the wrong shoes at one point. It was just awful. But persevered. It wasn't as bad as I thought. The resort was spectacular. I mean, it was beyond what we expected. From a grounds point of view, from a visual point of view. We'll talk about that a little later on the show in the starting point photography segment. I'll show you some pictures of the grounds of the Grand Sunset Princess in Playa del Carmen, Mexico.
Riviera Maya.
Or Mayan Riviera. Just the visuals of the place were just beautiful. Just the palm trees and the bits of jungle and the layout of the resort and the prettiness of the buildings and the landscaping, and it was spectacular.
And the animals. The
animals were really kind of fun and cool. So I'll show you some pictures of those. There's these little things called coatis. That's the nickname they have for them. That look like, had the same sort of body shape size as a raccoon, but a really, really long ring tail. And they were very cute. I could assume for Mexicans, they're probably like giant rats. But for those of us who aren't used to them, they were cute. And they travel in packs. There was, at one point I saw probably about 100 of them in the jungle. Is there a difference between jungle and woods?
Yes.
I think jungle is just the Mexican word for woods.
No.
All kinds of pelicans, great big huge fat pelicans flying around, terns flying around, fishing. We could watch some fishing from the beach. What other animals do we see?
Crocodiles.
A crocodile and a crocodile and a turtle in the same pool. And I don't get that. Unless they were feeding the crocodile, the turtles should be feared for their lives because crocodiles eat turtles. But I've got a picture of a crocodile and next 20 feet away, 7 turtles. Now, perhaps there were 9 turtles yesterday, but I didn't understand that. Monkeys. We saw monkeys, like wild monkeys in the trees. What else? What other animals? We saw that, I don't know what it's called. I'll show a picture later. The fat piggy-like furry pig thing in Mexico. I think it starts with a P for some reason.
I don't know.
No, it's not. It wasn't a chupacabra.
It was, it's kind of guinea piggy, but bigger.
I think it was like small pig sized and shaped. Some sort of Mexican pig. Capybara. Thank you, Sherry. I knew it started with a C. Thank you very much, Capybara. I only saw one of those, though. They seem very, very shy. All kinds of lizards and iguanas. Just big iguanas, too. I mean, some of these suckers were 4.5, 5 feet long with their tail. Other animals, lots of birds.
Yeah, I think apparently the Japanese guy did go down and get his iPhone out of the croc pond, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the staff said, yeah.
Some idiot taking pictures of the crocodile. We had to walk over a bridge, and he was in the pond below, and some Japanese tourist drops his iPhone into the crocodile pond, went down to get it. How much of a moron do you have to be to go, I'll go into the crocodile pond and get my iPhone? You know what you actually do? You call the staff. It's what they're there for. Jesus Christ. The people were spectacular. They were so nice, so friendly, so tiny.
Yeah.
It was like Munchkin Land. It turns out the Mayan basketball team sucks. Because they're all like 5'5". I think the tallest Mayan we saw was 5'7". That was the tallest guy there. Very cute, little stocky people. They're little fire plug type people. But they were very, very friendly. Even if they didn't speak very much English, they all said, hola. That was the extent of my Spanish.
And sometimes you would get the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, as I would say. Yeah.
And I kept using my limited Italian on them, too, which is completely useless. So that didn't go over well. Food was fine, exceptional in some places, but for the most part it was buffet stuff. And I got to admit, I'm already biased against buffets. I don't like picked over food. Yeah, you like the buffets.
I like the choice.
There's lots of choice.
Lots.
There's all kinds. There was certainly
love the salads.
All kinds of whatever you want. Salad, if you wanted hot stuff, you wanted cold stuff, if you wanted veggies, if you wanted fruit. In the afternoon buffet, they had all kinds of desserts, chocolate desserts and tarts and things like that. Lots of
meat.
Lots of meat. It wasn't very well done, though. From the point of view that apparently, from what I've heard from other folks, Mexicans don't know how to do chicken or pork. It was very dry at times. The restaurant stuff, not so bad. The only restaurant we actually didn't like was Miso. I think the resort has 8 different restaurants. And the only one we actively didn't like was Miso, the Asian place. It was just
too
average,
salty.
Too salty. The Italian place was surprisingly good. But the best one was the Argentinian steakhouse, La Vaquera.
Really good.
Really good steak. And then we had a wonderful romantic meal at a place called the Chillo Bar. I'd pay extra for that. Our resort, the Grand Sunset Princess, is all inclusive, which means that when you walk in the door, all your food, all your booze is paid for. Except for this one restaurant where you paid a little bit extra, but I got internet access on the beach, which, being a bit of a nerd, that was important to me. Didn't get any pork chops. They had a gala for those of us who were paid extra for the platinum on Thursday night, and the gala had rabbit and duck and some other relatively unusual
huge
meat.
Shrimps.
Gigantic tiger shrimps, huge shrimps. That was good. That was probably the best buffet because it was for the platinum gala folks. That was nice. The beach was lovely. There's a lot of reports of seaweed problems throughout the Caribbean, not just in Mexico or not just in Playa del Carmen. It's an issue throughout the Caribbean this year because of currents or winds or whatever it might be. But it went away after a couple of days. It was no problem after the first 2 days. And even the first 2 days, you just waded through it. You just walked 4 or 5 meters past the seaweed. And you, not being a water person, even you didn't mind.
I didn't mind. It wasn't slimy or anything bad. It was just, you just walked through it and it was good. The water was so warm.
Lamb chops, oh God. It was the gala buffet. I'd gone and gotten 2 lamb chops. Came back. A bunch of other stuff. Ate my other stuff. Lamb chops, delicious. I'm going to go back and get more lamb chops. That's what you do at a buffet. You like it, go get more. I go, and the lamb chop bowl was empty. But the guy in front of me said, are there any more lamb chops? And the chef said, yes, I'll get you some more lamb chops. Great. That's fantastic. Guy goes in the back, Comes back with a big bowl of lamb chops. And he dumps the lamb chops into the lamb chop bowl. And the guy in front of me proceeds to take 6 lamb chops on one plate out of the 8 available. You jerk! You asshole! Now, I don't care if you're getting lamb chops for everyone at your table. No, they come and get their own damn lamb chops. You don't take all of what's ever available. That's just being a jerk.
It's rude.
Speaking of oinks.
Oinks! God.
The demographics of the resort were kind of interesting to me. A lot of Southerners, especially from Texas. A lot of Brits, especially from
Manchester, Lancashire area. Northern.
And
some Londoners.
But it seemed like it was very... Working class is the wrong word. Maybe upscale working class, lower middle class. Is that the kind of sense you got of those folks?
Yeah, working class.
But it was interesting that so many Brits were there because...
It's a long flight.
It's a long flight, and they have Spain. Mm-hmm. Spain is right there. But we asked a couple of the folks that we talked to from Britain. Most of them said they'd been there before, and it was crowded, and they didn't feel they were getting value for their money. But coming even with the long flight and the cost of the flight... They felt that this particular resort was worth it. And something Kim and I were thinking about, or I was talking to her about our last day, would you go back? That's always the question. That's always the test of any place you go to visit. Would you go back? Yes, I would go back to that resort. In particular, when we started thinking about it from a value perspective, we paid about $120 a day for the resort. And you can't get a hotel room.
Not to that standard.
A 4-star hotel. It was definitely a 4-star hotel. Mm-hmm. You couldn't get a 4-star hotel in any major city in the world for $120 a night. We got a 4-star hotel with free room service, free booze wherever we went, free food wherever we went, a beach. Mm-hmm. What else do we get? Oh, airport transfers, free. It was all free. It was free.
Beach service.
We got service on the beach. While we're sitting there in our lounge chairs, a cute little Mayan girl comes in and you want more beer? And or get you coffee or whatever it is that you wanted. So, yeah, that's the value for the money was definitely there.
Yeah.
Now, we both said this. I couldn't see us doing that for a 2-week vacation. You could have sat on the beach there for 2 weeks?
I think I would have got a bit bored, yeah. For what we did, because we didn't do any excursions, a week is good. A week's nice for just going into Playa del Carmen for one day, and then the rest of the time just relaxing around the pool or the beach. A week is good. But if I was going to do 2 weeks, I'd want to go see some sights and experience some more of Mexico.
For me, if the resort itself had more snorkeling attractions, 2 weeks would have been great because I would have gone every single day and snorkeled all day long. I love snorkeling. I love scuba diving. There wasn't very many. There was no coral reef there, although just near there is the second largest coral reef in the world, behind obviously the Australia's Great Barrier Reef. And the snorkeling there is fantastic. Same as scuba diving. I didn't want to pay an extra $50 because Kim does snorkel. I didn't want to go by myself. So the water right off the resort wasn't very good for snorkeling. So if I would have gone on a couple of trips, I would have gone on a couple of snorkeling trips, maybe scuba trippers. But yeah, maybe I would have done more excursions. Mm-hmm. The problem was the excursions were between $100 and $150 a pop. It's a lot of money for a day trip to a Mayan ruin.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but a week certainly was good. Mm-hmm. We didn't get sunburned. Kim's good about that, and I stayed in the shade for the most part. I was worried about getting sunburned my back from the snorkeling because I was out there for an hour or so at a time. But otherwise, I think we were good that way. So we'll talk more about that and show some pictures a little later on in the show. We're also going to talk with our good friend Jim Dalrymple from The Loop at loopinsight.com. He has an iPhone S review that he has posted up on the website. We're also going to be talking about ad blockers and what you guys think of them, what Jim thinks of them, what I think of them, and not Kim because she doesn't know what the hell they are. Do you?
Other than what you've told me.
Exactly. So we'll talk about all that and much more coming up in just a few minutes. We'll talk to our good friend Jim Dalrymple from The Loop at loopinsight.com. This is Your Mac Life. Welcome back, folks. Thank you guys very much for joining me here in our phone room. We've got a good friend, Jim Dalrymple from The Loop at loopinsight.com. Jim, how you doing?
I've got a beer. I'm doing great.
There you go. What are you celebrating?
Wednesday.
That's a good enough reason for any. Sorry, folks. Folks that are watching me on video, watching me fight with my phone. I don't have my usual holder for Jim. You posted your iPhone 6S review up on last week. I was in on the beach in Mexico, actually reading the review, and very interesting stuff. Is anything particular stood out for you with the iPhone 6S? It seems like some folks were expecting more and not understanding that the S is generally not a huge leap, but what were your thoughts on it?
Well, I was, unlike some, I was more impressed with the 6S than I was with any other S version that they've released in the past 2 years. I think notably the 5S was probably the best before this one because it brought fingerprint sensor and, all kinds of stuff. But this one, what people have to realize is that the S version is usually a version where the exterior of the phone doesn't change. The design doesn't change, but they update all the components and everything, and they have a new iOS version.
Yeah.
So this one did all of that, and they updated the metal, the aluminum that they use for the phone. But then they brought in a whole bunch of new features, touch-enabled features like 3D touch, quick actions. Those things are huge. These are things that are going to change the way that we navigate the phone.
I want you to explain to me 3D touch, because I didn't get it. I don't see, because I don't have one, I don't see why this is, because everyone's been raving about it, yourself included. Try to describe 3D touch for me. Or is it even possible?
No. If you're not going to say nice things, I'm not going to tell you about it.
All right, moving on.
So 3D touch, it's a way that, when you go into, let's say, messages, and somebody sends you, I send you a message and say, hey, Shawn, I'd like to meet you tomorrow at 1 o'clock at this place.
Yeah.
And before you would tap on that, because it would come up as a link, right? You tap on it, and it would go to your calendar, and it would open up, and then you would create an appointment. Then you would go back to messages. Well, with Quick Touch or 3D Touch, you press on that, and it pops up a screen where it's already made the appointment for you, and you can swipe up and accept the appointment and never leave messages.
Yeah.
If you get a mail message, you see that a mail message comes in. You unlock the screen. You go into mail, and when you go into the message, you decide if you want to reply to it, what you want to do with it. You want to forward it to somebody, whatever. With 3D Touch, you lightly tap the message, and it gives you a preview of the screen and what's happening, right? So you can, from there, you can push a bit harder, and the message pops up into the application. Or you can swipe up again and reply to it. You can do everything you need to do right from there. You don't have to go through all these steps anymore.
Yeah.
So, and with quick actions, you press on an app icon, and common menu items will pop up. So, for mail, you can go to your inbox, you can create a new message, right from the app icon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, everything is just a little quicker, a little more efficient, and a better way to navigate. That's why I like it.
You are a self-admitted, not particularly good photographer, so it was interesting to see you write quite a few paragraphs in your review on loopinsight.com about the new 12-megapixel camera. You said it has improved noise reduction and improved low light, which is awful on a lot of smartphones. It's still not great, though, is it? It's good, but it's still not great.
Okay, so here's the thing with low light condition. I think that there's too much, and you correct me if I'm wrong here. I think that there's too much for an iPhone to deal with to properly do low light condition.
Yes.
However, they are using every little bit of equipment that they have to make those things better.
Yeah.
So in low light conditions, I was in a situation where it was a dark condition, and there was some sort of ambient light, and I took a photo, and it was a hell of a lot better than what any iPhone I've taken them with before.
Yeah.
And I went back and looked, for other dark pictures that I've taken in stadiums and things like that. And one thing that I noticed about, and there's just too many circumstances to talk about, so I didn't have this in the review, but one thing I noticed a few weeks ago, I was in Boston with my son seeing AC/DC.
Cool.
And very cool. I was trying to take pictures of the stage. It was dark, the lights were on the stage, trying to take pictures, and it was just completely washed out.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't a whole lot you could do with it. You know, and it kind of looked cool, I guess. I was at a concert. You could tell it was a DC concert, but that was about it. I took a picture the other day at night of a screen in a stadium with the new iPhone,
yeah.
and the screen had something on it. You know, like those Jumbotron screens?
Yeah.
You know? And it was one of those. And it had, you know, a flag or something on it. And I snapped a picture of that. And the picture came out. So, much better.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big improvement. Now, you'll probably be able to go in and do all kinds of fancy things, and I hate you for that, but, you know, I can take a picture of a flower. And do you want to know why I always take pictures of flowers?
Why is that?
In my reviews? Because they're complicated. They usually have vibrant colors,
yep.
and they have lots of shadows with the petals.
Yep.
So that's why I like to take those, because even I can see. And if I blow up on the original picture, I can send you the original if you want. But if you blow up on the original, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So that's why I take pictures of flowers.
And I think that's the key for the iPhone. Sure, if you had a professional level DSLR, you could take these great shots. But you're taking, as you said in your review, you're taking better pictures doing the exact same things that you're doing the day before you got the iPhone 6S. The camera itself has gotten better, and the camera itself is taking better images, and therefore you like your images better, and that's all that matters in photography.
Well, you know, and again, you know this better than me, but the more megapixels you add to the camera doesn't necessarily mean a better picture.
That's right.
It's all of the other technologies that go along with megapixels. Megapixels will get you more information, not necessarily a better pic.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But for the public, they hear 12 megapixels and say, holy shit, I'm going to take great pictures now. Well, no, you're not, but you will, because all the other technologies that Apple puts into the phone and into that camera are actually going to make you have better pictures. So, and that's what I said. Anything Apple can do to make my pictures better is welcomed.
Yeah. Especially
I welcome that with open arms.
Especially making your pictures better without you having to do anything else, without you having to learn more about or push this button or hold the camera in a different way. Apple is helping you take better pictures just by building better cameras. That's absolutely fantastic. The live photos thing, the live photos feels like a gimmick. Again, I haven't used it. I wasn't impressed by it in the demo. You've used it. You seem impressed by it.
I can't imagine why you would turn it off, just because some of them are pretty funny. You know, I mean, for the first 4 or 5 shots, I lifted it up. I knew live photos was there. I would snap the picture and then drop the phone just like I normally did.
Sure.
You know, you bring it down after you take a picture, and then I looked at my pictures, and all of them showed my foot. You know, because I would. So it's a second and a half before and a second and a half after you press the button. It will snap that whole section, and it's live, and it has audio.
Yeah.
So, you know, a couple of them, I snapped the picture, and when I snapped the picture and I pulled the phone down too soon, of course, and in the photo you can hear me saying, "Oh fuck," because I knew that I did it again. You know, because you're just so used to taking a picture like that that you bring the camera down.
Yeah.
So. 2 things. One, you get used to holding the camera up. That extra, because there's an indicator on the screen, which made me feel even more stupid, because there's an indicator there that says live. So you know that it's still recording.
Yeah.
And then live goes away, and then you can pull the camera down. So... the other thing, Apple's going to come out with an update to recognize when you pull the camera down, it'll stop recording.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So
So overall, it's the other funny thing that you see is you've seen some of these Geekbench benchmarks of the speed of the iPhone 6s. Yeah, that's great for the nerds and that's great for the techies. Do you notice a difference in speed? Is it significant? You've been using an iPhone 6 before. Is it actually faster?
I notice it. I notice that there's speed difference. Now, there's two different types of speed differences that Apple references here. One is CPU, and one is GPU, so the graphics. I'll be honest, I don't notice much in the graphics.
Yeah.
But having said that, every single picture that I look at is a small movie.
Yeah,
and there's no delay. So I guess, yes, I probably do notice a difference. I just don't know that I'm noticing a difference. Because, before you're swiping through pictures, now I'm swiping through movies, and, then you press it and it plays. And, I do that sometimes for fun. And listen to myself curse because I made another mistake. That's especially fun after you've had, 10 or 12 beers.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I do notice that part of it, and I wonder what that would be like on a 6. Would there be a delay? I don't know. CPU, it is faster. I mean, there is absolutely no delay anywhere on the phone at all. The normal stuff after you first start the phone or restart the phone, there's always a delay as it's getting ready and starting up, that kind of stuff. But once you start working, no, it's fast.
Just wanted to remind folks, Jim's review is up on the Loop, loopinsight.com. And by the way, Jim, before I forget, Kim and I were in Mexico this past week, and there was actually a bar there that served nothing but Heineken. So if you want to go to a Mexican vacation to tan that beautiful new body of yours, we have the perfect place for you.
Where did you go?
It's a place called Grand Sunset Princess on the Mayan Riviera.
You don't even know where you were.
It's Grand Sunset Princess, Mayan Riviera, Playa del Carmen. It's on the east coast of Mexico, the Caribbean side of Mexico. If you need a vacation, dude, I highly recommend it. It's a wonderful place.
East coast of Mexico. Where's that near? Is that near Mexico City? Or
it's on the Caribbean side.
Puerto Vallarta?
No, Puerto Vallarta is on the Pacific side.
East Coast.
Caribbean.
Oh, so you were over by
Cancun.
What's that big? Cancun. You were over by Cancun.
Yeah, we flew into Cancun, and the island of Cozumel was just off the coast of. We could see the island of Cozumel from our resort.
Right. Okay. All right.
Nice place.
So, why did you go there?
All inclusive, all the food and beer you could possibly stuff into your pie hole.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I tried to make them regret their choices.
So I wrote my review drunk in an alley, and you read it drunk in Mexico.
Pretty much. Yay, Canada! That's us, baby. Canadians, drunk but still working. Here's a question. Here's a question for you. Ad blockers, are they morally wrong?
Well, okay. Here's a question for you.
All right.
All the shit that we have to go through to visit a site, are they morally wrong?
Amen, brother. I've been seeing that argument a lot on a lot of different websites, and it's really kind of interesting to me that people would say this. Oh, it's if you're stealing our content. Dave Hamilton over at Mac Observer said that if you block the ads on Mac Observer, you are stealing his content. Other folks have said that you are ethically required to watch, view, listen to the ads on their websites. That all, to me, is a load of bullshit.
Well, I guess a lot of it depends on how much you care about the websites that you're visiting. And, sorry it's loud, I'm getting another beer.
Yeah, go ahead.
I tend to not visit sites that
I tend to visit sites that piss me off in general. It doesn't matter why they piss me off. I generally, if you annoy me, I'm not going to visit your. That's not true. I go to Cult of Mac all the time. I take that back.
Say, I don't visit websites that annoy me with a bunch of
Sorry, folks. Jim's in a bar ordering booze, so we have to allow him that. So we'll fix it in post.
I'm back. Don't get all bent out of shape now. So I don't visit those sites. I tend to visit sites like Daring Fireball and Scholars, and although I do love to visit iMore because I like the writers.
Yeah.
But I tend to I support the people.
Yeah.
I don't go to CNET. I don't go to Macworld. I don't go to ZD. I try my best not to go to New York Times sometimes, but although they've been getting somewhat better. And same with the Journal. They've been getting somewhat better, although some of the writers are awful. But, I support the people.
Yeah.
And that's all I expect in return. I mean, when I understand that people do not like these sites that download, 25 and 50 megabytes of files, and they just want to read a story, and then things pop up all over the place, and things are blinking. That's why I don't go to those sites, because I don't like it.
Yep.
Unfortunately, what's happening with content blockers is that they're blocking the sites that have shown the readers some respect. Like I tried to do, Gruber's tried to do, all the sites that I mentioned tried to do.
Yep.
We tried to be respectful. We designed the site to be as simple as possible. We have one small ad on the site, and that's it.
Yep.
So I think to completely block everything is wrong. To whitelist people like the Deck, Jim Poodle, who owns the Deck and is the ad network that I use. If you go to any of the sites, any site that runs the Deck, you will find that they are all designed in some way, like Daring Fireball or The Loop or any of those other sites. You will find that they're all like that because that's all Jim will do. If the site's not designed well or designed with the reader in mind, he won't accept you as one of the sites.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. He doesn't track anything.
Yeah.
And I made a post about this today because so many people are asking me about, how do you track, how do your ad network track? They don't.
Yeah.
And I confirmed this with Jim. I posted it. He said, we talked about this a long time ago when I first started, but you don't track anything.
Yep.
And he said, no, not a thing. And it's actually on his website. Said the reason, and I thought it was kind of funny, the reason we don't share anything, your name or your email or your phone number or what size underwear you wear or, whatever, for one good reason. We don't know. So what is wrong with showing that ad from a site that doesn't track you and it helps support me or whoever the writer is? But we get blocked the same way that CNET gets blocked.
Yeah.
So that's the only issue that I have. I understand and I agree completely that content blockers are needed.
Yeah.
Because I hate some of the shit that people do when I try and visit their website. Variety or Vanity Fair or, those big ones. They pop up these big, like they block the whole screen.
Yeah.
That's why it's very, very seldom that you'll ever see me link to something from those. Because I'm not going to send the readers to that.
This is an issue that the ad publishers have brought on themselves. I have zero sympathy for the ad publishers. I have a lot of sympathy for the websites that are being affected by this. But even the websites, I have less sympathy for because they knew these guys were doing this. All right, the iMore a couple months ago, had a big series of posts about how we don't have any choice. This is the way we have to serve ads. Well, you know what? You had a choice. You chose to take the money and not do it differently like the Deck does and like Google, Daring Fireball does and like the Loop does. I think the best tweet about this was from someone, I don't know who this person is, Contra at Counter Notions. He said, then users were saying to ad tech publishers, please do not track me. Ad tech publishers said, screw you. Now, ad tech publishers are saying, please do not ad block us. Users are saying, screw you. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
We asked these guys years ago to stop tracking us. It's not that we don't want to see ads. It's not that we don't want to support these websites. We want the ads to stop being so fucking offensive. And Macworld magazine was one of the most notorious ones with their auto-playing audio ads and videos on the website, and everyone bitched about it. And Jason Snell and Chris Breen and all those guys said, sorry, we got nothing to do with it. It's the marketing guys have taken over. Well, guess what, folks? This is us fighting back against those marketing people. So don't you dare come whining to us saying, oh, you can't block our site, it's not ethical. Screwing us isn't ethical either.
In all fairness to Jason, he didn't have anything to say about it. I mean, that's the way it was.
Yep.
I mean, if I thought for a second that Jason did have something to do with that, I'd be the first one to throw him under the bus.
Yep, that's right. I
would. But I think all you need to do to figure out if Jason had something to do with it or not is look at a website he opened up after he left Macworld.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Six colors. Six colors
very
is
simple.
Yep. Exactly. Now
he's running the deck.
Now
no tracking.
Now I was in Mexico when the whole Marco or Ment thing blew up. Give us your thoughts about Marco's ad blocker, then pulling the ad blocker.
I don't know what to think about that. I mean, Marco's got his reasons for doing it. I'll be honest. I bought it.
Yeah, sure.
$2.99. I bought it. It's the only one that I installed to see what it's like.
Yep.
I saw that it had a whitelist, so I whitelisted, Marco. I whitelisted the Loop. I whitelisted Daring Fireball, 6 colors. Because I don't mind supporting them.
Yeah.
I support myself. I was the first one on the list.
Yep,
but,
of course.
And then all of a sudden it was gone. Marco had his reasons for building it. He had his reasons for taking it down. I mean, who am I to question those?
Well, I don't know. You're Jim Dalrymple, and I'm Shawn King. We can question it all day long. It's another example of Marco walking back after a couple of days, some position he's taken. And this was if it was anyone else, there'd be probably less of a stink about it. But because Marco keeps doing this, people keep going, oh, it's Marco doing it again. From my point of view is, how could you not see there will be a backlash, Marco? How did you not know that your friends, people who use the deck, would be pissed off at you for having an ad blocker that blocks everything? Because the problem is people are not going to whitelist. The techie, nerdy, geeky folks will whitelist, but in general, the average person is not going to use a whitelist. They're just going to block all ads, the deck ads, CNET ads, Vanity Fair ads, and that's where Marco got himself into trouble. But how he didn't see this coming, I think that just shows that Marco doesn't think about things as deeply as he likes to think he does.
Well, that Marco cares about his software. And, from a developer, I don't know if we can expect much more than for the developer to care about his software. And you can argue whether or not this was a mistake. I mean, I don't know if it was a mistake. Was it a mistake to release it and then pull it? Was it a mistake to pull it? Should he left it? I don't know. I don't know what goes through Marco's mind. I have no idea. He could have. I wish that there's a way that it could automatically be whitelist.
Yes.
Because, the deck is great. They don't track. They don't do anything. So, whitelist.
Yep.
Automatically. And fine.
I think.
But I just don't like being grouped with sites like CNET.
Sure. Yeah.
That are now coming up with messages on their videos and saying, you can't watch this video because you have an ad blocker installed.
That's what I was going to mention.
Well,
That's what I was going to mention next, folks. I don't know if you've run ad blockers, but you go to CNET. Dave Mark at the Lou posted the story on Friday, and he's got an ad blocker installed. But when you were trying to watch the video, this message pops up: please disable ad block. This video is unavailable because we were unable to load a message from our sponsors. If you are using ad blocking software, please disable it and reload the page. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yep. So it's a cat and mouse game.
Yep.
Right now, the mouse is, or the cat is winning, whichever one you want.
Yep.
Somebody's winning. But you know that the ad networks are going to build like super cookies and stuff like that can't be blocked, and and something else will come up, and then they'll figure out how to block those, and it's going to be.
Do you think that'll be the case, or do you think that the industry, both ad-wise and the folks who rely on ads, do you think they will change the way they are doing this? As opposed to playing this cat and mouse game, what about, do you believe that the industry will go back to the good old days of websites or ad publishers like The Deck, where all they're doing is showing you the ad? They're not tracking you across multiple websites. Let's roll back to the days when you couldn't do this. Do you think the ad publishers will eventually do that?
I don't know if we can remember a day when that didn't really happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always happened in some way. It's just gotten a lot more sophisticated. So I don't know. I don't know if even I remember those days.
Yeah.
And I'm old.
It's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out over the next. This is a 5-year battle, folks. This is going to be a long time before this shakes out completely. Speaking of 5-year battles, Apple meets California officials to discuss self-driving cars. Wall Street Journal had a story last week that Apple is going to announce in 2019 a self-driving car. Do you believe that, Jim?
I believe that Apple is working on a lot of different things. And
Yep.
I've said many times before, do not underestimate the things that Apple can be working on.
Yeah.
And, whether this is an Apple car, whether it's Apple hardware and software components to help drive a car,
Yep.
There's something going on. There's clearly something going on. So, exactly what it is, who knows?
Do you have a problem with everyone running with this story as if it was a...
know.
Do you have a problem with the way people are running with this story as if
Are
it was...
you there?
Yeah. Can you still hear me? Oh, hang on. Jim, you still there?
What happened to you?
I pushed the wrong button. I'm sorry. I got a low battery warning. I'm gonna let you go in a couple minutes. But do you have a problem with the way people are reporting the story as if it was a fait accompli? That even the Wall Street Journal, who's never been 100% accurate on anything, let alone Apple, says sources familiar with the matter. But everyone seems to say, "Oh, it's definitely coming." Whereas I believe I have seen no evidence that it's definitely coming. That can't be explained. No. That can't be explained by Apple is looking at, as you said, software and hardware for the car, and they're trying to figure out what they're allowed to do to be inserted into a Ford or a Mercedes.
Right. There's no way to tell.
Yeah. But that's a journalistic point of view is what I'm talking about. There's no way to tell, and yet everyone makes that huge leap across that Grand Canyon into making a car instead of saying on the safe side of the Grand Canyon, saying, you know what, it's probably going to be an in-car system.
Apple is investigating something.
Yes.
The extent to what that is, we don't know.
I agree.
We just don't, and it's premature to say that they'll be making a complete automobile.
Yep.
It's premature. I mean, perhaps Apple is going to be the next engine of Tesla.
Yeah.
The new Tesla X model powered by Apple.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Yep.
Who knows what it could be? It could be something like that, and maybe not an autonomous car, maybe an electric car.
Yep.
people will jump to the conclusion of whatever they want to see the information fit.
Yes.
And I just don't think we're there yet.
I agree. I think that's the key, is that what we're seeing here is people wishing and hoping and wanting an Apple car, and therefore grabbing at any little piece of smoke that they think is out there that will get them to that path, instead of being good journalists and only going on facts and evidence that's presented to them. And I don't think very many people are doing that. I find that really, really frustrating.
Well, those don't make as good headlines.
Fair point. Folks, I want to say thanks very much to Jim Dalrymple for joining us. As always, he's got two podcasts up on the iTunes Store, amplified, recorded this week. Also, check out the Dalrymple Report. Jim, thanks, buddy.
All right. Text me when you're done the show.
I will do. See ya. I kept putting. Sorry, I keep getting low battery warnings because.
Oh.
Did I tell you to turn your microphone on? Did I say turn your microphone on? Yeah. Until I say turn your microphone on, don't turn your microphone on. Turn your microphone on.
Sorry. Oops.
That's the third time. She earlier shut down my computer. Shut it down. And it wasn't like I wasn't in the room. I was in the middle of uploading and doing stuff. What happened? You shut my computer down. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did.
Whoops.
Oops.
Oops upside your head.
Ad blocking. Robert Studer says, ad blocking, is it morally wrong to walk out of the room when the commercials run on TV? Exactly. Anyone who tells you that that's a great point, Robert. Anyone who tells you that it's morally wrong to not view the ads on their website is an idiot. Dave Hamilton, I've said it to him before to his face. I'll say it again on this show. You're an idiot. Mm-hmm. Not always, but in this case, you're an idiot. Okay? Dave runs, the problem is you have to look at the biases of the people involved too. Dave runs an ad network. So it's to his advantage. He runs Backbeat Media. It serves up ads on a lot of Macintosh websites. So it's to Dave's advantage for you not to run ad blockers. So I'm sorry, Dave. Your opinion on ad blockers doesn't carry a lot of weight with me. And telling me I'm a bad person because I block ads doesn't carry a lot of weight with me. When you, as an ad publisher, are part of the problem. Like I said at the very beginning of all this, this was brought on by the ad publishers themselves. This is an issue, a shitstorm that they created on their own. It's not us users who's at fault. It's not Apple who's at fault, no matter how many people try to blame Apple, including Nilay Patel over at The Verge, you moron. If ad publishers had treated us with respect, with dignity, and with acknowledgement that our time is valuable, this wouldn't be happening. One thing a lot of folks don't realize, there was that story a couple months ago about iMore. iMore was being picked on by a lot of websites because they were particularly egregious. When you went to their website on your iPhone, it downloaded over 10 megabytes of data. 10 megabytes of data behind the scenes, not of ad content, not of iMore content, of pictures or video or text, but of trackers and ads and this kind of stuff. And that's, you know what? If I'm driving my car and I go to imore.com and all that data shows up, guess who pays for that data? Me. That's coming out of my data allowance from Rogers. It's not like it's on Wi-Fi. It doesn't cost me anything extra for bandwidth. Websites have to be more understanding of the bandwidth. I don't think I'd have a problem with a website said, I see you're on, I don't know if it's even possible, I see you're on a cellular network, I'll only send you text.
Yeah.
I see you're on Wi-Fi, I'll send you the pictures.
Oh, that's good. That's a good idea. Well, can they do that? Can they?
Well, ad publishers, why don't you work on that fucking problem rather than working on the problem of tracking us everywhere we go? So you can service ads on every second website that we go to. And you and I talked about this before. When ads first started popping up on the web, it was just a little piece of text. Then it was a little graphic. Then it was banner ads. Then it was animated GIFs. And the reason why these things keep going is we ignore them. So they need to find a way to get your attention. And that's why you go to websites now, and the first thing that pops on the website isn't, I can't see the content because there's a freaking ad in the way for something. And now I got to figure out where's the thing that makes the ad go away. And in the meantime, I paid for that ad to be pushed to me. I don't get paid for magazine ads that get pushed to me. I open the magazine up, there's an ad, I can move on.
Yeah.
And then they have the problem of audio ads and video ads and auto playing audio and video ads. You're trying to get our attention so much that you pissed us off to the point where when Apple said, hey, here's a way to stop that, we all jumped all over it. Not because of Apple being mean, it's because you pissed us off. So I have very little, if any, sympathy for any ad company, because you've gone so far and you pissed off so many users in so many different ways that we're looking for anything, even if it's a sledgehammer to kill an ant. We're trying to find some way to make the experience not nearly as offensive. There's my little rant. Brian didn't even start me off on that one. Usually Brian's the one who starts me off on the rants. He's good that way. This is not an issue for you, though, is it? You are on your phone a lot more than I am.
Yeah.
Why doesn't this bother you as much as it bothers us nerds?
Because I just ignore the shit.
You can't ignore an ad that covers up the website, so you can't see anything.
I'm so used to just clicking, like, close X. Just ignore it. Okay. The only ones that bug me are the ones where it's almost like it doesn't matter where you click, you end up... Those piss me off. Because it's like, I just want to close you because I'm not interested in it. And they don't let you. Like, it follows you, or it goes, oh, yeah, you just accidentally clicked, and it takes you somewhere else. That pisses me off.
Brian says the problem is that many of them have a small close box. Interesting.
Yes.
MacMan says, ads on my phone don't bother me too much, to be honest, for some reason. Your thoughts. Send us emails to onair@yourmaclifeshow.com. Please let us know what you think of ad. Are you running an ad blocker? What is your favorite ad blocker? Did you buy Peace from Marco? What do you think of Marco? He's a nice guy. There's no doubt about it. Marco is a nice guy. He writes some great software, but he keeps doing this stuff. He just goes, bleh. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. Because if he didn't know that his friends on various websites would be upset with him creating a piece of software that hurt their business model, then Marco's a moron. Because it was pretty obvious. The second I saw it, we were in Mexico, and the news popped up that Marco had written Peace. I went, well, that's going to piss off a lot of people. A lot of people were friends with Marco. That's going to piss them off. And sure enough, 2-3 days later, Marco was like, oops, sorry, my bad. Not doing that. As we said before, Kim and I were in Grand Sunset Princess on the Riviera, the Mayan Riviera. Beautiful, beautiful place. Oh my God, it was so pretty there. You have no idea. I posted up on the IRC a couple of links to my Flickr page. Start point. Let me just get the URL so I can make sure I'm saying it right to you guys. You can go to Flickr and do a search for starting point photography, or start point photo is what Flickr has set me up as. Can I get a slideshow here? I can get a slideshow here. Check this out. I'm going to cover up, hang on, I'm going to cover up Kim with the slideshow. Sorry. Move tab, new window. I take this. I slide this here. Move that down there. Boom. There she is. There she isn't, actually. Mm-hmm. Boom. Just a quick little slideshow. This is Kim being confused by the moose bouche. You didn't really understand what a moose bouche was.
No.
This was our room.
You're just showing off.
This was our room, king-size bed. There was these cute little towel animals each and every morning that we were there. This is the chill-out bar, beautiful area on the beach. There's an angelfish. I think it's an angelfish. Using the Olympus camera. Another shot. This is the beautiful beach looking out to Cozumel. This is what the resort looks like. This is one of the pools of the resort. This is a bulldog. We think this was a bulldog.
Yeah, he's cool.
The water was very shallow, very clear. It's about 3 feet of water. You can see all the way into the beach. There were pelicans all over the place. Surfing. I didn't know pelicans could surf. Is Kim dancing? I think you're just dancing because it was a handsome black guy.
He was. He was a very good dancer.
Here's Kim in a pretty pink Mexican dress.
Pink. You colorblind now? It's blue.
Blue.
Hello.
Blue. Another shot of the pool area. Here's on the beach, first thing in the morning, Kim's favorite pictures with no people in them.
Yeah, love it.
For some reason, I was fascinated by the clouds here. The clouds are just gorgeous. Again, this is probably about 8 o'clock in the morning. That's Cozumel off in the distance. That's how clear the water is. You can see my flippered feet. There are turtles. There are all kinds of little turtles in this pond. And right next to the turtles were crocodiles. Those are full-size Mayans. That's full height for Mayans. We didn't go parasailing. Kim chickened out. I wanted to. Coward. There's the crocodile. And those turtles were like literally 20 feet from that crocodile.
If that. They were close.
Sunrise over the Mayan Riviera. These are the guys who clean the beach every morning, working their little butts off, cleaning the seaweed off. Kim sun tanning.
Except my face.
For some reason. Beers, backgammon, babes. I couldn't have been a happier guy. Nice clean beach after they raked most of the seaweed up. We cleaned up right some good. What night was this? This was our night of...
I think it was the gala night. Yeah.
The grounds were just so pretty. So amazingly pretty.
So well maintained. Like everywhere was immaculate.
There wasn't a leaf out of place for the whole week.
Look at it. Amazing.
Never saw the mowing, but I think the grass is different. There are a kitty cat. That's a kitty cat on the left and a Cody on the right. Beautiful grounds. They had all these little statues all over the place. Those are the villas on the left-hand side. Hot girls everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the buildings were 3 stories high. Another shot of the villas. So if you had a family or a bunch of friends you wanted to all stay together, you could stay in one of these villas. Iguana!
Yeah, he was cool.
He was cool, too.
A seal.
No. Just less than when we went to Playa del Carmen, there was a woman actually making cigars. It was really kind of cool to watch her. One of the pools at night, although you're not allowed to swim after 8 o'clock, so the pools were empty at night.
Means it's quiet.
These little bungalows with little kitty cats all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Another view of the suites. You could actually have your meals here. This is a very romantic setting right in the water. Chill out bar. Selfies. Got to do selfies. That was a lizard, not an iguana up there. Off in the distance, you can see that some of the ground floors were swim-up ones where you could just walk out of your back door and into the pool. I wasn't crazy about. Again, the grounds were beautiful. There's a crocodile. Mm-hmm. We thought it was a statue at one point. We thought it was
Until
fake.
he blinked.
Until he blinked. I mean, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Another angelfish. I'm happiest when I'm in the water. That was actually raining over Cozumel. You could see the rain off the distance. One of our beach settings. Again, pelicans all over the place. Where are you going, MacMan? What town?
Yeah. What's the place you're going to? Because it's awesome. You will love it. Look at it. It's beautiful.
Okay, so there's
Cool.
So now, okay, make it stop. What the hell?
Yeah, before it gets to some other pictures, no.
Panic. Panic in the disco. Why won't the escape key work? There we go. Jeez, that was annoying. So one of the things that I did was I actually brought 4 different cameras with me. Yes, 4. No, 3. Sorry, 3 cameras with me to Mexico because, well, I'm a nerd, photography geek. But there was a reason for it. There was a reason why I wanted to make sure that I took enough cameras to capture all the stuff that I wanted to show off. Was because, and this is something that beginners have a X-Carat. X-Carat, yeah. It's a problem that beginners have a lot of problems with, where they'll have one camera and they'll think that one camera is good for every situation. It's not. There's no such thing as the perfect camera. There's no such thing as a camera that's good in every situation. You can have cameras that will do good in certain situations and bad in others. The iPhone, the perfect example. The iPhone generally is, most camera phones are not really good at low light conditions. Point and shoots are great for real quick snapshots, and DSLRs are great for the full range of color. So I brought my iPhone, and if you followed me on Twitter, you saw my iPhone pictures. I also brought my big DSLR, and if you check out the Facebook photos, a lot of those are going to be with that DSL, the D600. And I also took along this little Olympus TG850. So different pictures for different situations. Sorry, different cameras for different situations. And I'm not recommending everyone carry around 3 cameras with them. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is understand your likely shooting conditions and bring the camera that's best suited for that. Or just forego those pictures. Don't get frustrated. It was a lady we saw at the beach from Pittsburgh who was using her camera phone. She had an Android phone. And she just couldn't get a good picture of the sunset. She said, I can't hold it steady enough. It keeps being blurry. Yeah, because your camera can't do a slow enough shutter speed that allows you to capture that image without any blur. That's just a fact of life. You're not going to get the shot you want. You think you can, but your camera can't do it. So you get frustrated and angry at the camera or yourself or the sun or whatever it might be. And you can't let that happen to yourself. You have to sit back and go, okay, what's the performance envelope of the camera I have, and am I inside of that? So, for example, when I went underwater, iPhone wouldn't have done dick. iPhone would have broke. My DSLR is water resistant, not waterproof. So if I wanted underwater shots, I couldn't bring either of those 2 cameras. I brought the Olympus instead. So depending on the situation, that's the camera you shoot with. That's the settings you have. And here's some examples. Kim and I were messing around with this light. There was a light sculpture.
They were like monoliths.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were lit from the inside with a kind of onyx marble look on the outside. There was a few of them in a courtyard. Yeah.
And it was kind of nice. I mean, I actually got a couple of good shots of Kim posing. This is obviously a shot that you're not going to take or get with the iPhone or a DSLR. This came out really, really nicely, if only because, and a lot of folks wouldn't realize this, the flash went off. The flash lit up my face. Rather than have the bright background and a dark foreground, the flash really lit up my face. And because the flash lit up, the flash flashed, you can see that great, Kim was just pointing out to me, great
water
detail in the water.
movement.
I didn't even notice that when I first took the picture. I wasn't thinking about that, but this looks really good. Here's Kim. This is how clear the water is. And again, this is using the Olympus TG850. Great little water camera. This, surprisingly enough, was taken with the Olympus too. Mm-hmm. The problem with the Olympus is that it gets sort of soft around the edges.
But it's not bad. It's still not bad.
It's not bad. Selfie shot. And the thing with this one is one of the fun things about this Olympus is, so point and shoots generally have this big screen in the back. Well, the Olympus has this ability to flip up the screen. So you can shoot down low. But it also has literally a selfie mode where the screen flips around at the same angle or the same direction as the camera lens. So you just turn the camera around, hold it out there, and you take selfie pictures, which is really kind of neat. You get better quality selfie pictures. So that's what this shot is. This is Kim taking a selfie shot. And then
it's a wee shot.
It's a what?
A wee. Because it's not just myself.
Shut up. Here's me with my longer arms. Makes
much
a difference.
better. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say it's better. Just a different angle. More of the iguanas. One of the problems with the. Yes, you have a question.
Did you retouch that picture to get rid of red eye because the flash went off? Did you?
I did not.
I don't think you did.
I did not.
It didn't.
No,
didn't make you have red
one?
eye.
No.
Yeah.
But then again, I got little squinty eyes.
Yeah, you do. Little slit eyes. Squinty. Okay. It's because they're brown, maybe. My eyes don't reflect red very often.
You should stop talking soon.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. No, actually, no. You can actually see the flash in my eyes. There was no red eye. I hadn't even thought about that, but no, I didn't mess with it at all to get rid of any red eye. One of the downsides of the Olympus was that if it was in auto mode, it didn't seem to flash at the right time. There should have been a flash on this because it's so dark. The resort had these cool little cabanas off the side of a lot of the paths, which was kind of neat. You could just go and take your beverage and go
like little nooks,
little thatched roof huts that you could
cozy.
They were very cozy. And they had these cute statues all over the place. This is Kim posing with one of the statues. Also shot with the Olympus. The Olympus does a really good job when conditions were bright. You know, when there was bright sunshine. The Olympus did a great job with that. And here's a version of me doing the same thing. But again, it didn't fill in my face very well. It didn't flash when it should have. Another selfie shot. Us going out to dinner. Nice picture. This is an example of the swim-up bar area. So these were apartments, but
rooms.
How do I get that? Look at that. So I can't get a better. Oops, no. White balance. That's better. A little moon shot again. This was shot with the Olympus. It's just color corrected. Now here's the difference when it comes to using
DSLR.
The DSLR. This is where I'm going to be able to capture a greater dynamic range of colors and shoot in much, much lower light conditions. The sun hasn't even come up yet, the light is probably around here. It's fairly dark outside. But I turned the flash on. You can see up here, it's shot at 1/20th of a second, f8, ISO 200, with the 24 120 millimeter zoom lens. But I had Kim pose looking that way and had the flash turned on, so it lit her up and had a nice glow of the sky ahead of her. This is just the very, very first utter beginnings of the sunrise off in the distance. It's funny, I think it was Monty said, I didn't like this photo because of that cloud in the way. If that cloud hadn't been there, I would have gotten that red ball that I was looking for.
But it's kind of cool.
Some people said the same thing. Other folks said that they liked it too, and I was like, you know what? Okay,
It's like a little window in the cloud.
yeah, I wasn't crazy. I'm not crazy about the shot, but that's what we talked about before. Photography is subjective.
Yes.
I had a vision in my mind of the shot I wanted to get.
You didn't get it.
So I had pre-visualized the shot, and then when I couldn't get it, that kind of ticked me off. So maybe that's why I don't like the shot, because it's not what I was expecting it. It's not what I wanted it to be. So other folks do like it, though. I think this is a good shot. This is where I intentionally focused on Kim and let the sun in the background blur away. So the focus was back here. No flash this time. Let just the natural light fill it in, and I get a silhouette of Kim. And I like the glasses. I really like. I don't know why I like it. I like the when the glasses came out.
That's nice.
The typical, sunrise shot that everyone takes.
But it's nice with the light on the water.
I had to wait for the sun to come up above these clouds. You can sort of see them in the distance there. Penguins, the pelican surfing, but with his mouth wide open. Now, this one is one where you see more detail in it than you did with the Olympus. The Olympus lost this kind of detail, and I couldn't get that detail in the Olympus. This is me just standing on the side of the water. This pelican walking around, surfing, pelican surfing. I thought it was so cool. They were just like, he was just riding the wave in.
Yeah.
Well, this was an example of just standing there and waiting for the pelican to come to me. None of these shots, by the way, have been post-edited in any kind of way yet. These are still my JPEGs. These are just the quick versions of them that I'm sending to you folks, letting you folks see. But look at the detail.
Yeah, it's nice. These feathers.
In the feathers that I cannot get in the Olympus.
No, that's pretty.
So that's where this camera, the DSLR, is a huge advantage over a point and shoot. Why do you do that? Why are you lying there with that covering your face?
Because I'm getting older.
Yes.
And too much sun is not good for your skin. It ages you faster. So I don't mind tanning the rest of my body.
Not worried about your armpits getting old?
No, they're not going to get old. I'm not going to worry about that. But my face, yeah, a little bit.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Now, this is where I couldn't get this shot with anything except the Olympus. And there was all these little fishies running around there. The problem with this is that it's hard to color correct these because of the way sunlight goes through water and the way the lens was picking up these colors. Beautiful clear. Again, this is probably 3 feet of water, maybe up to my belly button, if that, looking back towards the beach. Very, very clear water. Me feets. If you go scuba snorkeling anywhere or scuba diving, look for these little holes and ledges of things. That's where animals like to hide out. They feel safe there. This was a cute little fish, and they were always hiding out just above. I didn't even see these till I looked up and saw these. This guy was about 6 inches over top of the water. Was 6 inches below the water. I wouldn't have seen him otherwise. I really liked it because of the reflection up there.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that shot and it was just the one fish swimming around. And then he had some buddies. Little fishy friends.
Nice.
And these guys are maybe a foot below the water. That's how close they were to the water.
Surface. They're all in the water.
I know.
They're all close to the water. Thanks. They're in it.
MacMan, Kim can ask this one. Hey, dumb question. Were there shells on the beach there?
Yes, I did. I went and picked up some. I did. I picked up, I don't know what they're from, but a little conch shell, little mini ones. And I picked up some, coral, some old coral.
Where'd you find that? I didn't see any of it on the beach.
On the, I just paddled in the water.
Oh, okay, so you were in the water.
Surf was coming in and out. I was just picking up stuff that took my fancy.
Good.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, very nice.
There was, once I found this spot, this general area, there were all kinds of fish. The thing is, though, with a camera like this, you tend to hold we tend to hold the cameras out like that, right? We'll hold the camera in front of his arm's length. The problem is you can't see your screen in those conditions. So what you have to do is turn your camera into burst mode and just take a bunch of pictures. I took 1,100 pictures underwater alone, simply by holding down the shutter and taking a bunch of pictures one after another in order to be able to capture some of these shots. You can't just go click and then move away. You're not going to be able to capture much that way because it's hard to see where your lens is pointing. It takes some practice, but after a while I realized, okay, at this angle, when I'm holding it like this, I'll get pretty much what's in front of me. And also the fish are moving very quickly. So if you try to zoom in, you'll lose them that way too. So it takes a bit of practice. So I went out on 3 different days and got better on all three. My first day pictures, crap. They didn't come out at all. But they hopefully they got better as time went on. But there was quite a few fish here in one particular area. You had to know where to look, and I eventually found that one spot where to look. But there were still quite a few fishies around. Self-portrait, again, this is using the macro mode on the type easier, sweetie. She's pounding away at that keyboard, isn't she?
Sorry.
Beating it to death. And there were some nice colorful fish. Again, there's some angelfish here, and there was this pretty blue fish that you saw. But the blue did not, the Olympus did not capture that color of that blue nearly as nice as it was in real life. It just did not, either because of its lens, of its sensor, or because of water conditions. It just did not do as good a job as I expected it to underwater. Another example of how you need to use a DSLR, the terns and pelicans were dive bombing the water to catch fish. And this was set on, again, burst mode. There's the first shot of the sorry. Hello, another angelfish. Where'd he go? There's the first shot, and there he is just about to hit the water. Mm-hmm. One of the terns that was diving after those little fish, and there he is.
Sploosh.
Sploosh. Actually in the water. This little angelfish was probably pissed off at me because I chased him for probably a kilometer trying to get good. I probably took 200 pictures of this one fish. Another great shot of one of the terns flying around over top of us, and here he is again, folding his wings and about to make some poor fishy's day really, really miserable. And he splooshed in right there. There he is. Another shot of cute little yellow and black striped fish, more angelfish. Angelfish. I don't know what kind of fish those are. You got to bring swim fins because you can't. A lot of these shots were I was shooting down on top of the fish because I couldn't. The day I took these shots, I couldn't dive down there and keep myself down there. So a lot of my shots were on top of the fish. What you want to be able to do is get swim fins so you dive down and it allows you to swim along the bottom for a period of time to be able to catch the shots of the fish, at their level. Shooting down on top was.
You mean flippers?
Swim fins, flippers, same thing.
Okay.
But again, it's an example of using the right camera for the conditions. These shots would not have been possible with obviously an iPhone, a naked iPhone, or a DSLR. Drove this fish to exhaustion. Poor guy. Just chased him all over the place. Some fish were good size too. These ones were 2.5 feet long. These were some good size. These were catchable fish. The weather was great for us the entire time. Those clouds you see never really came at us. There are coconut trees there, like real live coconut trees. Beautiful area in the beach. The other thing I did too, if you were using a DSLR, I would highly encourage you.
Oh yeah.
To buy a polarizing filter.
And
is there an and?
Yeah. Put your camera out on the balcony.
Oh, God, yes. Yes, that's huge. The humidity, unbelievable. First morning, so the Sunday night, we go and we get to the room. And next morning, we get up and we go to the beach. Yay, we're going to go to the beach. And I see something pretty. I pull my camera out, and my camera goes, nothing but fog. Just can't see a thing. I wipe it off, doesn't matter. Every single screen I got, the optical viewfinder, the LCD screen in the back, the lens, nothing but. The humidity is so high that you take your gear from the cold into the humid, and it immediately fogs up and stays fogged for a good 5-10 minutes. So what I did was during the day, if we came back to the room, I left my camera outside in the humidity. At night, I'd bring my camera back indoors, but the next morning when I got up, I walked out, took my camera back outside, put it on the table that's out on our balcony, and we got ready. We showered and shaved and all that kind of stuff, and then I took the camera out with me. So you have to make an effort to change that. But MacMan says circular polarizer. Circular polarizer is, I don't know if I can even show you guys this, but it's this thing that goes on your lens, okay? And you should have a neutral polarizer, a neutral filter on your lens anyway to protect the lens. But this is an extra polarizing lens. I don't know if I can even show this to you. Will it work? Let's see if I do this. I don't know if it works. But you know what? Do a search online for polarizers. Because what happens is, this goes on your lens, and the front element of this actually spins on its own. It turns. I can actually see it working like that. Can you guys see my face changing?
It's like a tint almost.
It's half of this is tinted and half of it isn't. And so what happens is when you roll it down to the tinted part on the bottom half, it takes away all the brightness of the sparkly waters. Or when you roll it to the top half, it takes away the too bright sky. So all my photos that you see have got this polarizer over the top of it, and it really made the blue of the sky, made a huge difference. There's a bunch of shots I took and went, oh, shoot, I didn't do the filter, spun them around, and the photos came out much better. You can see a lot of that in these kind of shots where it made such a huge difference in the brightness of the images that I was shooting, that it cut the nasty glare off the water, the sparkly waters, and made the colors look so much better than if I hadn't had the neutral density filter on it. That's a big difference.
Look at his cute face.
And they were fairly, not docile, but he let me get up pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised at how...
Well, one of the waiters told me that you could have pet one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never got that close to him. Clouds over Cozumel. Again, this was a beautiful sunny day for us, but obviously it was not so much for the folks at Cozumel. I don't know why I was fascinated by the clouds in this place. They just seem to be
quite varied.
They just seem to be different. I don't know why.
Pretty.
They just seem very different. So I guess the lesson I'm trying to teach here is know your camera. Obviously, that's just something that you have to do anyway. Mm-hmm. But know what your camera is capable of. Know what situations it's good in and what situations it's not good in, and don't put yourself in the bad situations. Here's a good example of a shot of another pretty girl of using. There's the before shot with no flash. And there's the after shot with the flash. Makes a huge difference, just turning your flash on. People don't think about turning the flash on during the daytime. It's called a fill flash. So if you take this picture and notice that the person is too dark, just turn your flash on. Mm-hmm. It makes a bit of a difference. Look at that sexy thing.
That's a very snooty look, I think. It's a very snooty look.
That's what one of these Codys look like. So they have the body of a raccoon with this huge long tail on them. And there were little babies running around, which are so cute. wrestling, digging for food, in the trees, staring at you. There's the capybara. Thanks, Sherry. Sherry told me that this thing's a capybara. Another night shot of the... I like these night shots, even though this isn't clear. If I zoom in, you can see the blur. From out here, it looks like a nice shot. I took a few of these, and they came out nicely. There's the pelican swimming, flying along. You get table service right there at one of these little...
At the whole beach. No, you don't just have to
not
be
the
in
whole
the
beach.
cabana.
No,
in this area of the beach.
Yes.
You don't have to be in one of these little cabanas to get special service. She gave us special service because we tipped.
Yes.
Unlike lots of people, we did tip. And we also gave her a Canadian pin.
Yes, that's right. Macman says, wonder how much the beach scene mode of my D7100 will help in situations like those. Easy way to figure that out, Macman, practice. Try it. See what happens. Your first day, go to the beach.
Beach scene mode.
Turn. And a lot of folks, if you have a camera that has scene modes, they don't look for that beach scene or beach and snow, they'll often call it. So what you do is you tell your camera to underexpose, because beach and snow reflect
Bright.
a lot of light, or very, very bright. So it'll underexpose the image. And practice it. Just sit there and take a picture with beach scene mode, then turn it back to auto, take another picture, turn it to aperture priority, set it to f4, whatever the lowest is, one, take another picture, then set the aperture priority to the highest you can get, probably 22, take a picture. Practice. Yeah, exactly. You're just going to have to experiment. That's the way you learn this stuff, is by sitting somewhere and just experimenting and figuring it out. What were these great cloud formations? I think this is one of the examples I'd like to use for folks just to look up. You know, we so often tend to just stare straight ahead. Even as photographers, we're just always I'm at 6'3", so everything I see is at 6'3". Everything Kim sees is at 5'7". Look up. See what you can see when you look up. Look down. Look around you. Just look around. Be aware of your environment and be aware of what's going on around you, so you don't miss out some of these shots. You know, the selfie shot with that with selfie cam on the Olympus TG 850. More little fishies, tormenting angelfish again. But again, this is an example of, it's a nice shot, but when you try to zoom in, it just gets mushy all around the edges.
Just because it's not a DSLR.
Exactly.
But for being able to photograph underwater, it's a good picture.
That's right, because otherwise...
You have to just, like you say, you just know its parameters. That's, right. That's it. That's
because
what it can
otherwise, I simply wouldn't have gotten these pictures if I didn't have the Olympus. I just wouldn't have been able to take these pictures at all.
Yeah.
So I'm glad of the Olympus. Yes, the pictures aren't as high quality as the DSLR, but the DSLR won't go underwater.
But at least you got the pictures.
But I got pictures. You know, I got pretty pictures of cool looking fish. And this guy, saw him in the last day. He's just a puffer fish. It was such big. He got like big old seal eyes. I was amazed at how expressive this little guy's eyes were. I don't want to get too close to him because, well, he's a puffer fish. He's probably about 3 feet long. And I was afraid if he puffed up, he'd be like the size of a basketball, would come after me. But he was very cute. And like a lot of these fish, he was hiding underneath this chunk of coral or chunk of reef right here. So when you're swimming in these kind of conditions, look under it. This was his house. Him and a bunch of other fish were down here in this dark area. And every time I swam away, he'd come up here, and when I got too close to him, he'd either take off over there or he'd go back underneath this coral section. But he was very cute. These little lips and eyes. It was a very cute little fellow. I chased him all over the place. The other thing is, too, keep an eye when you're shooting underwater of where the sun is, where the light is coming from, because this is a bunch of fish who are swimming in front of me, and then this is the same bunch of fish, but because they had moved 45 degrees to my right, the light was completely different. The light changed just that quickly on the fish. So that's, again, why you have to keep taking pictures. You have to take a bunch of pictures. This shot from Shawn King, Fish Tormentor. Yeah, I really did. I tormented a lot of fish. And finally, when we were leaving, we didn't see this on the night we arrived, but leaving, we noticed that the air traffic control tower in Cancun,
big Corona ad on it.
had a big Corona ad on it. And they were serving tequila in the
departure lounge
of the hotel. Like, yeah,
airport, not hotel.
Of the hotel. We didn't stay here, but this is obviously Cancun. This is the beaches in Cancun. These are reefs down here, and again, more really, I think, really cool cloud formations that I from the plane window. Had a lot of fun shooting these. Sun reflecting off the water below us, the Caribbean Sea.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
And these are all shot with the DSLR. So, when you go on vacation or when you travel, you don't got to bring 3 cameras. You don't got to bring an iPhone, a point and shoot, and an SLR. But if you do, you give yourself more broad range of possibilities. No doubt about that. If you'd forced me to bring only 1 camera on this trip, I would have gone with the DSLR. Mm-hmm. If only because this has the broadest range of possibilities. I could take it into the water to a certain extent. Some of those pelican pictures you saw were me walking in belly button deep water and taking pictures like this. This is water resistant. It's not waterproof, so I was okay if it was splashy water on it. I wouldn't have put it underwater. But I could take a lot of good quality shots with this. The iPhone was great for taking pictures like immediately that I could then post to Twitter and Facebook right away and play around with. While Kim was suntanning, I'd sit there and I'd play with the settings, with using Snapseed and editing the photos right there and then posting them to Twitter. That was really convenient. And this thing was great for the ease of use, the portability, the real quick flip screen kind of thing so we could take selfies, but also underwater. Pictures weren't great underwater, but I couldn't have gotten those pictures any other way than by using one of these cameras. So find your camera and then stay within the shooting parameters of the camera. If it's an iPhone, on bright sunny days, you're going to take some great shots. Cloudy days, great shots. Nighttime, not so great. Point and shoots, it's average. It's in between all of that stuff. It'll take decent, okay night shots. The flash will come on and be ugly and harsh. It'll take shots underwater that you can't get with anything else. And then you've got the DSLRs, which capture a much broader range. If you have any questions about this or anything else we talk about photography-wise, please send us emails to onair@yourmaclifeshow.com. Did MacMan say, where did MacMan say he was headed off to?
Yeah, he's going.
Xcaret?
Yes.
Is that the name of
on the 29th.
Is that the name of the resort
25th.
or the town?
It's a resort area. It's kind of, I saw signs for it. That's what I said to him. I saw signs for Xcaret. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I hope you have half as much fun as Kim and I did. It was definitely...
It's beautiful. I'd go back again. I'm glad I did that as my first experience for Inclusive because it was awesome. But now I'm scared to go anywhere else.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because I'd go back there.
The MacMan, you're probably going to get the same class of staff that we got.
Yeah,
they were fantastic.
Awesome.
They were so nice, so friendly. Again, it's the Grand Sunset Princess on the Mayan Riviera. Value for money was spectacular.
Yep.
You know, when you think about buying this kind of stuff, they give you the price. You go, whoa, that's a lot of money. But then you think about all the things you're getting for that chunk of change, and it's really, really good value for the money. I don't know if it was the time of year that we went or what the situation was, but the place is, it's huge. But it felt like 75% of the time you and I were the only ones there.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
You don't like people in general. But for the most part, you're walking the paths. It's not like it's a shopping mall with people you have to all the time. The paths are clear. You'll see another couple once every 3-4 minutes walking on the path with you.
Yeah.
Never had any problems getting reservations in any of the restaurants. Didn't have a lot of problems getting beach chairs and
Never. There's
wanted
plenty of beach chairs. Yeah.
Never had a problem with getting gear, snorkeling gear. You bring your own snorkeling gear if you want your own personal fit stuff. The only problem I had with snorkeling gear was that the one morning I went, they were having a dive team go out. At this resort, snorkeling gear was free, but they were having a dive team go out, and so all the swim fins, the flippers, were dedicated to the dive team guys. So that was okay. I didn't have a problem with that. Playa del Carmen. Resort?
Yeah, you bought that in the hotel.
Why? Oh, sorry. Kim's video has died. My bad. Hang on. Yeah, I'll change that code later. Don't worry about it. So, you got to buy some souvenirs, right? You got to buy some souvenirs. I saw this in the hotel, and they had a bunch of them. Just fell in love with it. I think this is just the coolest thing. I think Mexicans, certainly Latin Americans, I think certainly Americans, try that again. Latin Americans in general, and certainly Mexicans in particular, have a completely different viewpoint about death and dying than the rest of us do. We think of cemeteries as being creepy places. Mexico actually has a Day of the Dead, I think it's November 5th, where they celebrate their dead. They have parties in cemeteries, and they have a lot of what we think of in North America as grotesque death imagery, skulls included. But this is a beautiful skull. I love this thing. This is going to be behind me, like right there, from now on. I love that skull. I had a whole bunch of them. Stuff is cheaper. MacMan, you're going. So stuff is cheaper in town. That was $15. $15 in town. $30 at the airport. Sorry, $15 at the resort. $30 at the airport. $10 in
Playa del Carmen.
In Playa del Carmen. Mm-hmm. So Playa del Carmen is the closest town to the resort, and so there's a MacMan, El Dia de Muerto. Exactly.
El Dia de Muerto.
So the hotel offers a shuttle that goes into town, and do it. Go into town. It's fun. They drop you off in the tourist section of town. That's fine, and you walk up and down, probably a 5-kilometer walk, up and down, and there's all kinds of shops. And there's touristy, cheap, shitty shops, and there are
high-end,
like high-end.
Nice stuff. Nice
places.
Clothes, nice
Forever
boots.
21 selling expensive watches and expensive stuff. Boots.
Leather stuff was cool.
I got a nice
jewelry.
shirt.
Yeah.
A bunch of stuff. So definitely go there. But the funniest thing was the vendors there. They all want the gringos to come into their stores to buy their stuff. And some of them are saying, we got the best junk on the strip. They know it's junk. You know it's junk. We all know it's junk. But the patter they had was sometimes was very, very funny. So we're walking through, and this one guy, and now I don't know. I honestly don't know. No. Guy says, hey, remember us? Remember me? I'm your waiter at the hotel. And we're like, really? Are you? Yes, at the Princess. Oh, hey, how you doing? I don't know who the hell the guy is. Hi, we saw like 1,000 waiters in our first 3 or 4 days.
He wasn't, because he was a young guy. I'd have remembered.
He's all right then. Talk about that later. So we're like, oh, hey, how you doing? He says, yeah, it's my day off today. It's a Mexican Independence Day. I'm here at the shop helping my mom out. Why don't you come on in? He's like, yeah, okay. On the way back, we'll stop in. So we keep walking. And then another guy says the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. Hey, how are you doing? You're me. I'm your waiter at the hotel, at the resort, at the Princess. All right. Okay, thanks, dude. Keep going. But it turned out everyone was doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's their ploy.
And it took us far too long to realize...
A wristband.
Because the resort has different levels of amenities, they give you a wristband, a colored wristband that tells you which restaurants you're allowed to go into and that kind of stuff. And all they were doing was reading off our goddamn wristbands. Bastards! So don't fall for that scam, Mac man. Don't fall for the scam of them knowing, oh, you remember me from the hotel? And they take advantage of the fact that we don't remember you. I'm sorry. It's just a bunch of people I've seen like once. So yeah, don't fall for that. Although fall for the one guy who's, hey, I'm not your waiter from the hotel. Please come in my in my shop anyway. He was very funny. Everyone noticed Kim's tattoo. Mm-hmm. Show me tattoo. Hey, tattoo lady, pretty blonde lady.
You want Harley t-shirts?
Well, Harley, that's the funny. They all assumed she wanted Harley t-shirts.
Yeah.
And for me, they all called me Mr. Clean. So she was tattoo lady, I'm Mr. Clean. And no gracias, no gracias, no gracias. You said it 18,000 times. But when you said no to the guys, they weren't hyper aggressive. No. I mean, in Egypt, they were grabbing at me, and I really didn't like that at all. These guys were just But this guy, these guys walk up to me, and so they said, call Kim tattoo lady, me Mr. Clean. After we walk by, they'd walk up to me and go, dude, you want some weed? Want some blow? I'm like, what makes you think I want weed and blow, dude? Well, my sister? No. The funniest part about the whole thing, though, was how pissed off you were getting.
Well, because after, like, I don't know, how many 500 times of saying, no gracias, no gracias, no gracias, I was like, really? I felt like saying, hey, you remember me? I lent you 20 pesos, $20. You owe me, right? It's like, yeah, two can play at that game.
But the funniest thing was, because you're British, you felt forced to say no gracias to them. You could have just ignored them, not said a word. Mm. But, so because they forced you to say no gracias, you got quietly raging at them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
It was such a funny attitude you had.
I know.
Just either ignore them or say no gracias, no big deal. No gracias, no gracias, no gracias.
But it was good. It was
a cute
excellent vacation.
Tip. MacMan, when you're there, tip. I couldn't believe how many people didn't tip.
Yeah, the bloody English. I was almost embarrassed to be British.
No, the Americans were just as bad.
Some, but I saw some young, like our age, were tipping on the beach, couples. But for the most part, we seemed to be the only ones that would tip the staff. I know.
I don't understand why you wouldn't do that. You
tip a couple of dollars.
You tip waiters. You tip waiters and waitresses when you're at home. Usually 15%. This was you're giving them $1 American. You're giving them 20 pesos. It doesn't hurt to
be nice.
To be nice, just give these folks a couple of bucks. The other thing was there are several people on the beach. The beach in Mexico, to a certain, from the waterline to, I don't know, I'm going to say 50 feet, is public access, so anybody can walk on the beach. So there was did the Canadians tip extra out of guilt for the cheapskates? Oh, hell no. Didn't tip extra. I tipped exactly. When they brought us 2 beer, we give them $1. When they brought us water and coffee for the buffet, we gave them $2. And then at the restaurant, we gave usually $5. So it wasn't hugely expensive. I think we figured we spent around $100 on tips.
Yeah,
for the week.
That's all. It's not much.
Not much. The internet sucks. There's no doubt about that. The internet is just awful. But you're not there for the internet. I needed the internet because I was working at the same time. But the internet in general is going to suck there. The beach vendors were very funny. They had these, the resort itself has photographers that they've hired that will take your picture for free with various animals, parrots, and I don't know where those pictures are. I got to find those pictures because those were good pictures. Parrots and spider monkeys capuchin monkeys, iguanas. So you'll get pictures taken with them. And then if you want to, you go to the resort's photo booth, photo lounge, and pay for your own photos. There's a lot of vendors around selling cheap sunglasses and cheap watches and all the usual stuff. But just no glass, just cheap silver. And what did you buy?
A couple of belts on a beach for $15 US. Excuse me.
You can get massages on the beach. You had a massage first
At
day
the
we were
spa.
there? At the spa.
At the spa. That
Was
was
it
good.
Good massage?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, good. Just trying to see, going through my notes. Oh, the beach chairs are way too frickin' low. Good Lord, they were low.
No, you're just tall.
Yeah, but still. Just going through my notes to see if there's anything else. Oh, wear footwear at all times. I couldn't be bothered one day. It was Tuesday. I couldn't be bothered to put my sneakers back on before I bought water shoes. And I walked up a wooden bridge to get to the where Kim was at the bathrooms. Literally burned my feet. Got third-degree burns on the soles of my feet. That's how frickin' hot it was. It's hotter than you imagine, MacMan. I think MacMan lives in Iowa. Dear God, MacMan, you are going to sweat through everything you own. I swear to you. There was one day, then it was like 100% humidity, and there was the threat of rain, and we were thinking, don't care, because we can't get any wetter. Even if it rained, we couldn't have gotten any wetter. We were soaked through everything. Brutal. So, yeah, this is the first time I've ever suggested this on a vacation. Bring more clothes than you think you might need. But definitely wear footwear. The surfaces can be very rough and also very, very hot. Monty's in South Georgia with beyond crappy internet. I'm working on the pictures as we speak. I'm getting those posted up onto the Flickr website, so I will get those posted up when I can. And
he's also going to post a video of me drunk.
You want me to?
Or whatever.
So funny. You guys got to see this.
Yeah. You have to watch it all the way through, though, because apparently...
She's so
I don't
cute.
even remember you videoing this.
She's so cute. But I'll definitely post this up later on.
It'll entertain you.
On the UMacLifeShow.com website. MacMan says, Iowa summers get to be 90 degrees Fahrenheit and dew points of 70 aren't uncommon. All right, then you'll still be miserable. Drink lots of water. That's the key.
Yep.
The key for anything, that kind of humidity, drink lots of water because you're sweating a lot of it out. And the rule, if you're all-inclusive, is simple. 2 beers, 1 water. If you follow that path, you can drink all day long. Unlike...
Who mixed her drinks, unlike everybody on Twitter said, "Oh, don't do that, Kim." And I'm like, I'm good, I'll be fine.
2 beer at the beach.
Not so much.
Go back to the room. She has 1 beer. Then she has
rum and Coke.
Then she has a
vodka and Fanta.
Vodka and Fanta. I knew the night was over at that point. Anyone who's willing to drink vodka and Fanta, not vodka orange juice, Fanta.
They didn't have orange juice.
Is a lost cause. We go to dinner.
Martini.
And they have some sort of martini. She has one of those. 2 glasses of wine at dinner. We leave dinner and go to the beginning of our pub crawl. Orders herself, or I ordered for her, a traditional martini. Then she has a Manhattan.
Then I'm gone.
And she's done. As she says, she was legless. She was just, and then we were back to the room by 8:30. The 20-minute walk from the lobby to our hotel room, she demanded the entire time to have another drink. She did not need another drink. When you see the video, you'll know what I mean. She didn't need anything more to drink. So I was saying, no, sweetie, just have water. Just have water. I don't want water. We'll go to the lounge. We'll get another beer down there. We have beer in the room. No, I want to drink down there. I thought, okay. We get to the room, and I give her a glass of water, and she's in the bathroom taking her eyeballs out, taking her contact lenses out, and the the bathroom has a sliding, like a French door type thing. And so I open the French door thing, and she takes a little sip of her water, and she gives this face. I told her I wasn't going to give her anything else to drink, so she drank all that water. And so she takes a sip of water. She goes, I drank all my water, and pours it into the sink. Like I'm some kind of idiot who can't hear her pouring water into the sink. I just gotta lay down for a second. I'll be okay. I'll just rest my eyes. Done. 9 o'clock Friday night. Done.
Mm-hmm. I was.
But I'm proud of you. You weren't incapacitated the next day.
No, I wasn't.
Most people would be incapacitated the next day.
I was delicate,
Yes,
but
you
I
were
wasn't
delicate.
incapacitated.
We still went to the beach. We still went suntanning. We still
I
did
had
everything.
breakfast. Very,
we
very,
still
very
did everything
tiny
that
light breakfast.
But we still did everything that we had planned on doing anyway.
Yes.
That's what is okay.
Yes.
You know, if you were just like, I'm just going to stay in a room for the rest of the day.
No.
Then I would have been upset. But no, you got up and like I said, yeah, we had breakfast, we had fun.
Yep.
But yeah, pace yourself. When you're in this kind of situation, especially when you get free booze, it's like, I have to drink all of it right now.
No. It was bad.
No problem with the water, although we didn't drink a lot of the tap water.
And they provide a lot of bottled water, which is good.
I was surprised by how much. And it wasn't just like little, there were 2 1-liter bottles of water every single day.
Yeah.
In our minibar fridge. And you get water everywhere else. So there was no problem with Montezuma's Revenge or anything else like that. So those kind of things that people are generally worried about were no issue at all. Anything else that we forgotten about this place?
No.
If you get a chance, go.
Yes.
Grand Sunset Princess. Don't fly Sunwing. Sunwing, awful.
Charter flights.
Yeah,
It
but you say
happens.
that because you're 5'7". I'm 6'3".
I know.
Makes a big difference.
They're pretty squashy, yeah.
They're very squashy. Squashy?
Look at that snooty look.
Oh, geez, the thing went to sleep again. How do I make the iPad not go to sleep?
I don't know.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking the audience.
You're the Mac man.
You don't know. So yeah, if you want a 1-week vacation just to go sit in the beach and almost do nothing, if there are excursions you want them, but if you just want to sit in the beach and do nothing, just float in the water or lie in a lounge chair, play backgammon, then we can't recommend. Sorry, we can't recommend this place too highly. It's just spectacular. Grand Sunset Princess. They're not even paying us to do that. If you have any questions about that or anything else about our trip, please send me an email to Shawn at yourmaclifeshow.com or email her. She's Kim at yourmaclifeshow.com. Folks, that's it for this week's show. I want to say thanks very much to our good friend Jim Dalrymple from The Loop at loopinsight.com for joining us here each and every week. Appreciate it. Thanks to you guys for being tuned in the show, whether you're listening in to us live or via the archive. And thanks to Sly. Sly wasn't here tonight. Sly is not feeling well, so she wasn't here on tonight's show. But please send Sly birthday wishes. It was her birthday yesterday. She was all alone because her boyfriend Greg, hiker, CA, in the IRC chat room, is back east, and she wasn't feeling well, so she stayed in on her birthday.
Oh, she has the same birthday as my sister.
I offered to go get her, take her for a motorcycle ride, but she turned me down.
Oh.
I don't know why. Because she's chicken. MacMan, isn't tonight the Big Brother finale too? Aha!
Aha.
I bet that's what she's doing, MacMan. We all know how much of a Big Brother junkie she is. So if you can, send her an email, Sly at yourmaclifeshow.com, Facebook, Sly on Facebook, or on Twitter, Sly M. Wish her a happy birthday and hope she feels better soon. As always, she's been
Kim Guy.
And I've been Shawn King, and you've been listening to Your Mac Life. Thanks very much for joining us, folks. See ya!